Well, folks, in today's video, we visit the Perth train show located in Perth, Ontario. This is the first time I've ever been to a train show in Perth, and as a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure it's the first time they've ever held a train show, so I was pretty interested to see what exactly it was all about. So here we are inside Codes Mill. This is where the train show was held. And I really thought that this was quite an interesting facility to hold a train show, because usually you're in an ex-hockey arena or something like that. So this is an ex-manufacturing site. I believe it's a textile factory that's been converted to a variety of different purposes. Down there is actually a restaurant, and the entire upstairs area to your right was what was devoted for the train show today. So here it all is. It's certainly not the biggest show I've ever seen, but I was pretty impressed by it, and I got to see some layouts that I have never seen before. So, yeah, I'll show all of you exactly what it is I saw while I was here. So one thing I should point out is that almost all the layouts here are part of the Ottawa Valley Model Railroaders Association, as I believe they're called. And I thought it was sort of interesting, because I've seen a lot of these modules before, but there were definitely quite a few new ones. And I thought they did a very good job arranging all the modules, because at some shows I find the modules don't really go together very well. But in this case I thought that they were put together in such a way that they all sort of blended to make one great big layout. So I was pretty impressed by this layout in particular, the HO one. And they had some great trains running on it, which I felt really fit the layout. This passenger train going around the layout kind of caught my eye, and I think the reason it did is because I've never really seen a paint scheme quite like it. I think this is probably somebody's custom paint job, because I've never seen a locomotive with this paint scheme, and they probably put quite a bit of effort into creating it. So yeah, it just has some sort of a classic look to it, which I thought really suited this layout. Now, the club I mentioned earlier that runs the HO layout also operates the Zen Scale Layout, and I've seen this layout before at shows like the Elmer Train Show, but again, they had some new modules out on it, which I thought looked really nice, and they had some great trains operating, like this triple-headed Southern Pacific train, which I thought looked really sharp. This is also the first show I had ever filmed with my new phone, so I really enjoyed walking around, capturing different scenes throughout the show. Here was the only vendor at the entire show, and it was just a gentleman selling some homemade HO scale trees. But I thought it was really nice because the same guy was also running a raffle that anyone could enter to win a lot of trees for absolutely nothing. So I did wind up picking up some trees from that guy. Now, the O-scale setup which you're currently seeing wasn't actually owned by any of the clubs. It was actually privately owned by one of the members of one of the clubs, and it consisted of an Amtrak passenger train, a BNSF freight train, and a CN freight train. Now, the setup I'm about to show you in a second here is not something you get to see in Canada very often. It's an N-scale Kato Japanese set, and it had a regular Japanese train as well as a high-speed Japanese train. And one thing I did like about that setup was that, unlike most layouts at these types of shows, they were actually running the trains pretty fast, and I didn't get a ton of footage when they got them going full speed, but they were running them surprisingly quick, which is something I actually really enjoyed seeing. Now here's a layout I've shown quite a few times on this channel. It's an ON30 layout. I think it's actually called the Dirty 30s, and I just decided to take another shot because I was using slightly higher quality equipment than usual. Another small thing I thought I would show off is this working HO scale oil jack. I thought that was pretty impressive. The detail on it I thought was very impressive. And that will be about it for the show, and I'll finish off with this very realistic service station. Check this out. Very nice. I hope you all enjoyed.